Today we are going to be playing around with the Ruger American Predator Gen 2 in 223 Remington. We've got some ammo loaded up here. We're probably only going to get to one of these charge columns, and the one that we're going to be working with is 223 Lake City brass, so 5.56 brass. Remington 7.5 small rifle primers, the bench rest ones, 53 grain Hornady VMAXs, and Varget from 25.4 to 27.5 grains. I will put all of the information as far as the loads and the equipment that we're using in this test in the description below the video for those of you that are interested in the exact numbers and all that stuff and the stuff that we're using. But you know, the rifle, it's a relatively inexpensive Athlon Talos scope, 3 to 12, and we're just going to be shooting here at 100 yards doing 3-shot groups. So we're going to start off with 25.4 grains of Varget, and we're just going to work our way up and see what kind of accuracy and speed we get. First target that we're going to go for here is going to be right in the smack dab middle of the center diamond. $29.41. $29.52. $29.63. So you guys can see I chose this bullet because in our initial testing it shot the best, even though we were just shooting factory ammo and we only shot one sample size. It showed really good potential, so I wanted to do some hand loads with it because it seemed like it had the potential to shoot really good groups with this little guy. So average muzzle velocity of 29.52, extreme spread of 22, and a standard deviation of 9, and the accuracy was actually pretty good, so I will take that all day long. Next up, we got 25.7 grains of Varget. We're going to be working up in 0.3 grain increments all the way to the top charge here. Going to be going for the top left of that, or the top left diamond rather, on the target. 30.14. 29.81. 29.74. Average muzzle velocity of 29.90, extreme spread of 40, and a standard deviation of 18. That's not that great. Next up, we got 26 grains of Varget. We're going to be going for the top of the center diamond. 3,000. 3,018. 3,036. I didn't see where that third shot went, so I'm assuming it went in one of the other holes, or one of the existing holes rather. Average 3,018 feet per second, extreme spread of 36, and a standard deviation of 15. So still not great, but for this gun, it ain't bad. Next up, we got 26.3 grains, and we're going for the top right diamond. 3,066. 3,049. 3,083. Average was 3,066, extreme spread of 34, and a standard deviation of 14. Next is 26.6 grains of Varget. We're going to be going for the left side of the center diamond. Oh, I kind of didn't put the Garmin back closer, so I did not get a velocity on that one. That one's on me. 31.26. 3,075. Average velocity of 3,100, extreme spread of 51, and a standard deviation of 26. 26.9 grains of Varget going on the right side of the center diamond. 31.25. 31.39. 31.45. 31.36 was our average, extreme spread of 20, and a standard deviation of 8.3. That's pretty tight. That one actually looked pretty good. Next charge is 27.2 grains of Varget. Just FYI, these last few charges were compressed with Lake City brass. So if you're trying to duplicate these loads, or you're even thinking about it, first of all, look at the disclaimer in the description, but also just know that these were starting to mark up the bullets a little bit. So I do not expect these to shoot as good, but they might. They don't look pretty anymore. So just keep that in mind because they were compressed. We're gonna be going for the bottom left diamond. 3168. 3173. 3219. Average velocity of 3186, extreme spread of 51, and a standard deviation of 23, so not good. Getting a little wild here. Last group here with 27.5 grains of Varget. Gonna be going for the bottom of the center diamond here. 3221. 3217. 3163. So if I'm seeing that right, that was actually a pretty good little group to end on. It looked like we had a really tight little cluster there. So average of 3,200 feet per second, extreme spread of 57, and a standard deviation of 26. So the velocity sucked. Now, that being said, I'm gonna give you guys the bad news because I get a lot of suggestions and stuff pertaining videos with rifles that I do not own anymore, and this is probably going to be one of those very soon. So I will be honest, the accuracy on this gun is not bad. We just showed some pretty decent groups from a budget rifle with little amount of work, but the fact of the matter is I absolutely hate the action on this gun. I'm not gonna lie. You probably notice a lot of this going on. That shouldn't happen, guys. I'm not trying to dog on the company. I'm not trying to necessarily dog on this model or this particular SKU of rifle. Mine in particular, I don't enjoy shooting it. And I know that some people are like, well, let it break in. You know, if you're really intentional about not letting it touch the walls of the action, then yeah, it can run smooth. But there's a lot of hang-ups going on here, and it kind of just drives me nuts. If I'm going to be totally honest with you, it really aggravates me. And I just don't enjoy shooting it. Like I have to push the thing from the back to get it to not do that number. And I'm probably overstating my point here, but anyway, I always appreciate you guys commenting and letting me know what kind of components you want to see tested in these guns. It really helps me going forward. I really mean that. So that's why I really appreciate it when you guys go and vote in the polls and the surveys and stuff that I do, because it helps me to figure out what you guys want to see going forward. This gun is probably going to get sold, and I don't think you'll see it on the channel again. I may do another video with it, but ultimately I don't want to bring it out. Like, I didn't even want to shoot it today, but I was like, you know what? People want to see this gun again, so I'm gonna videotape it and I'm gonna film a video for you guys. So I didn't do this because I wanted to. I did this because you guys wanted to see more of this rifle, but I'm just being totally honest with you. I'm not a fan of this gun. The action is the reason I'm not a fan of the gun. Everything else is fine. Nothing else bothers me, actually. It's just the action just runs really crappy. And I may have got a lemon, but again, I'm just yammering at this point. I just want to let you guys know that this is probably the last video with this little guy, because I can't stand the action on this gun. But I'll always be honest with you, whether that's good or a bad thing. Thank you guys for watching. Again, comment what you want to see going forward, just not with this little guy. And I appreciate y'all watching tremendously. Y'all stay risen, take care, be safe, and we will see you in the next video.